Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great time last night, and it sounds like the entire group went to Plan B, is what I understand, is that there was a very long wait, but hopefully people found some food and had a nice time. So we need to get started this morning. So yesterday we did the lightning round introductions for the state produce safety programs, and this morning we're going to do lightning round introduction for our educational partners in the states, and this includes both community-based organizations and university extension organizations. So like yesterday, this is very quick, 2 minutes, and it's just an opportunity to introduce yourself, your organization, and share a little, one or two things about the work that you're doing. So like yesterday with the states, they kind of lined up over here, a couple people, just so it kind of kept moving. Can we do the same with the educational presenters? And I'm looking at page 12 in my program, so you can see the order of the group. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay starts, and then Zariah is next, and then whoever's presenting for Cornell, Beth, I don't know if you are. Okay, so like I said, this is just a 2-minute quick overview, and we'll just keep the groups rolling. As the one presenter ends, the next can start. So I'll start with Lindsay. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsay Gilmore. I live in Philadelphia. I work all over the place. Who I'm introducing today is our Chesapeake Produce Safety Education Project team. Not everybody is here yet, but you will have met them throughout the day yesterday. We are called Chesapeake, but we work throughout the Mid-Atlantic and possibly up even into New England. We're not associated with Extension. We partner with Extension. We're not associated with we have a parent nonprofit now. We just moved to the Eastern Shore Entrepreneurship Center, their Chesapeake Ag Innovation Center, but we've been running this project since 2018 with FSOP funding. Thank you very much. And my co-manager, Aaliyah Fraser, is actually in Trinidad, so we might even start doing some things in Trinidad. We're going to see about that. So my team is Aaliyah Fraser, Kimberly Rakes, who's here. Kimberly, if you could stand up. Where'd she go? Oh, there you are. Crystal is not here yet this morning. Thelonious Cook, there he is. Who else? Ruth Tyson, I think, is not down here yet. A lot of people are trying to take calls this morning, I think. Who else? LaQuanda Dodson, who's in Philadelphia, and and me. We also have two new folks, Dr. Malvina Brown, who's in Wilmington, Delaware, and Mark James, who's in D.C. So we was kind of spread around the Mid-Atlantic. We work a lot. We work directly with farmers and farmer co-ops. I do a lot of work with food hubs, so we may move into that a little bit too. Right now we're just doing produce safety, but I think over the next couple of years we're going to be expanding into the food processing realm and getting everybody trained in that as well. And the really cool thing that I put on the slide was that Crystal and Kimberly had their first session without me, yay, at the Future Harvest CASA conference, and they had 50-plus people in standing room only. I kind of wept a little bit to myself when I heard that, because how many times do you get that the first time around? So that was really exciting. So, thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. I am Beth Demings, or Elizabeth Demings. I am the coordinator at the Institute for Food Safety at Cornell University. If everyone from Cornell that's here, if you guys want to stand, we'll do introductions first. Betsy Ben is listed on here. As many of you know, she was supposed to be here today, but she was unable to make it to the conference. She was feeling a little under the weather. So she's the director of both the Institute for Food Safety, the program that I work with, the National GAPS program, and also, most of you know her from the Produce Safety Alliance. She's a senior extension associate at Cornell as well. Then we have Donna Clemens. I think Donna spoke yesterday. If you remember, she is also the PSA coordinator and a Northeast extension associate. We have Elizabeth Hodgson. So she is with Cornell Cooperative Extension. She's a regional vegetable specialist with the Eastern New York Commercial Horticulture Program. And then Laura, are you here? Oh, yep, there's Laura. Laura Pineda Bermudez. She is with the School of Integrated Plant Sciences. She's a graduate student, and she's also an extension aide on Betsy Ben's program with the National GAPS program. And then the last person on the list is Michelle Brochia. Are you here? Oh, hi, Michelle. I don't think I've actually met Michelle, so Cornell is pretty big. But Michelle is an agriculture production manager with Sullivan County at Cornell Cooperative Extension. And like I said, Cornell is pretty big. So we have, based at Cornell University in the Department of Food Science, we have several food safety extension programs, or programs that work with food safety. So we have the Cornell Food Venture Center. Olga Padilla-Zakor is the director of that program. And also Bruno Xavier, who's been to this meeting several times but isn't here today, he's the associate director of that program. They're a process authority, and they work with a lot of small processors and food entrepreneurs who are trying to launch and develop projects and make products on the market and trying to make sure that they're safe to consume. We have the Cornell Food Dairies extension program. They're based out of Ithaca, and they work all with dairy. They do several food safety courses. Martin Weedman and Sam Alkane are faculty members that are involved with that, with running the Dairy Foods Extension Program. We have the Food Microbial Lab and HPP Validation Center that's run by Randy Warabo. And we have a high-pressure processing unit based in Geneva. It's in a BSL-2 facility where they do validations. And then my program, the Institute for Food Safety, we're based in Geneva as well. And we kind of are an umbrella program for all the food safety extension that happens at Cornell, filling in some of the gaps in between the different programs. We have the National GAPS program, which is Good Agricultural Practices, and then the Produce Safety Alliance. And then with Cornell Cooperative Extension, there are county-based local offices throughout the state, and then there are also these statewide regional teams like what Elizabeth Hodgson is involved with. And the Cornell Cooperative Extension is also supported by our Cornell faculty, staff, extension associates, and so it's a big system throughout the state. And I think we were asked to provide a fun fact about Cornell. I really just wanted to say that we have tremendous support from our New York State Department of Ag and Markets to help deliver our food safety education across New York State, and that's on both levels of produce and for the processing side. So we're very fortunate to have such a great relationship with them, collaborating with them and having their support. So that's it. Right.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kate Minifee. I'm here with the Western Massachusetts Food Processing Center, which is a program of the Franklin County Community Development Corporation, so doing economic development work in Western Mass. Our Food Processing Center is a shared-use commercial kitchen that supports food entrepreneurs as they're starting and usually in their first couple of years. So the kitchen offers rental space, co-packing services, and then lots of technical assistance around how to safely and legally launch a food product. And we serve people, we did a lot with Massachusetts food producers, and now we're serving people all over New England. I'm here with my colleague Tricia Wanko, give a wave, who is leading the newly launched Massachusetts Ag Innovation Center, which is a new project for us. It's going to add capacity for us to serve farms who are looking to make value-added products. CISA, who's in the room, is one of our partners. And we were supposed to be joined by Liz Buxton, who many of you probably know. She's our director of operations for our kitchen and came down sick yesterday, so she's not here with us. So a couple of things that we're excited about that are on the horizon for us. We're working towards our first ever third-party audit for the kitchen, working with Dave Seaton, who's in the room. That's been a big undertaking for our team. It's scheduled for May, so we're really excited. It's going to be great for us in our line of products. We do local frozen vegetables, and will be really important for many of our clients. We've talked about this today and yesterday, but buyers are now asking for third-party audits, buyers like Whole Foods. So we have lots of clients who are going to be needing that. So that's been a big project. Trying to remember what else I put up here. We are partnering with lots of folks, some of whom are in the room, CISA, Commonwealth Kitchen, our friend Amanda over at UMass, Nicole at URI, to host biannual, twice a year, product development classes that are really geared towards food safety and helping people understand how to do a hazard analysis and put together a food safety plan. So that's been a really fun new partnership. And then lastly, we just got some funding from the state to formalize work we've been doing for a while now, which is with the incarcerated and formerly incarcerated community. So we have always hired from within that community in our kitchen, and the funding is going to allow us to hire more people who are currently incarcerated to work with us on our co-packing team, and they will get additional professional development during that time, the next 6 months to a year, around OSHA and then food safety concepts. And we'll go into 2 of our local jails a couple times to do workshops on how to successfully launch a food business. So we're excited about that, and thanks for having us.
Good morning. I do not have a slide. Don't have much of a budget either. Roger Noonan, New England Farmers Union, and I'm also here representing the National Farmers Union, the Local Food Safety Collaborative, which is a cooperative agreement with FDA to do outreach to the small farms and small-scale processors that often get overlooked in some of the larger funding schemes. I just want to call out a few folks that I've had the privilege and honor of working with in this program, and that would be Vicki Smith, who now runs the New Hampshire program. Vicki worked for us as a contractor, got her PSA training and lead trainer with us. Billy Mitchell, who worked for the LFSC for a number of years and still on contract, has just done an amazing job. And Tricia Wanko over there, who we just saw on the screen as well, did a great job leading our national program. So what we do is we provide training support. So if you have small-scale growers or processors that need some assistance, whether they want to take a CGMP or a PSA training, need a stipend, reach out to our office, and either our national office or our office in Shelburne Falls, and we're happy to help. We're happy to help support extension trainings that may be short on funds. And I know since COVID, somewhat seem to be a little heavy on excess funds right now in some of our programmatic stuff. So I'll also just share with you that my FSMA journey started here in Connecticut, I forget how many years ago, with a NIASDA meeting where I became a thorn in Mike Taylor's side, who was the guy that, deputy commissioner at the time. And we developed a pretty strong relationship, and I think the collaboration that started at that meeting and with NASDA really turned into this, I think, a much better rule, despite its still ongoing flaws, a much better rule emerged than we were looking at back then. So I just want to make a shout out to NASDA and Bob and his team for all the work they did as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Luke Laborde. I'm a professor of food science at Penn State University at University Park, which, if you look at the map of Pennsylvania, it's like the geometric center of Pennsylvania State College. We have a diverse set of outreach. I call it outreach, not so it's extension, but extension being a category within outreach, because we have many outreach programs that are run not just by extension people, but in fact by regular res ed research people as well. I think right now what's going on is the Penn State Ice Cream Short Course, or one of those ice cream courses that's been going on for over 100 years and has quite a reputation. So as far as extension is organized, I'm the FSMA team leader. I didn't get any more money for that or anything like that. That's what they call me. and I guess it's just filing reports every October. We have different groups within the FSMA team for the different areas of FSMA, the produce safety issue, the preventive controls, not for human food, and another one for animal food. The produce safety one, you've met Jeff Stolz, who's here. He's the, what do we call you, the sub-chief? I don't know, whatever. But he has, and I counted him up, 17, 18, 20, something like that, extension educators. So we have a great network of extension educators that we took a number of years to cultivate and get buy-in, and now we have a really good group, and they participate in training and also use their expertise for guidance. Jeff says that there, since this started, 71 trainings. That's quite a few. Certificate courses, and over 2,000 certificates have been issued. So that's a pretty good impact. The preventive controls for human food is led by Martin Bucknavage, who's not here today. There's a general course for that. There's also a dairy-specific one that Dr. Carrie Collegian runs. Something like 40 trainings and 1,000 certificates since this all began. So quite a lot of trainings going on, regularly offered each year. And again, we have other programs. We have the preventive controls for animal food, sanitary transport, these are courses, and foreign supplier verification and food defense, all aspects under the FSMA umbrella. Beyond FSMA, we have what's called an industrial food safety team. And we've emphasized that quite a bit at Penn State because Pennsylvania is a processing state more than a commodity state. I think something like over 60% of the ag economy is through processing and value-added issues. So not entirely recognized by those who fund these efforts, but it is a large impact on what we call the agricultural industry is the largest industry in the state. Yeah, okay. But it's complicated. So we have courses in good old-fashioned HACCP that we've been doing for the meat industry for the past 20 years. Merging into FDA HACCP, we still offer that because people want it. And then now shifting to preventive controls, the whole evolution of risk-based food safety. We also have an annual course that I run, the Food Safety and Sanitation for Food Manufacturers Workshop. We have that every October for 2.5 days. We also have an online version that people could take. We offer fundamentals of food science because so many people, really don't have a food science degree that we deal with in industry, and so that especially is good for the salespeople to come in and understand what we're talking about. We have annual courses in food microbiology with activities and breakouts, things like that. Food mycology. We do the Better Process Control Food for acidified and low acid canners every year, coming up in March. Or recently, based on some of the research efforts, we've done listeria control in packing houses, a big issue now with work with primarily the tree food industry, but some of the insights in the research that we're going to present April 14th down near the Gettysburg area, Adams County. We also have courses in sensory evaluation, descriptive analysis. I'm not sure what that is, but it's something to do with sensory. Chocolate production just started. So we like to hang out outside that one and see what they're producing. Cheese production, cultured dairy products, something called Ice Cream 101, which is kind of a mini version of the granddaddy of all short courses at Penn State. The ice cream short course, it's got like a 3-year waiting list to get on, and they're in an enviable position. And no, Ben & Jerry's didn't graduate from that course. That's a myth. I think they applied for the materials and then maybe, I don't know if they finished it, but that was a long, long time ago. So again, here are the websites, extension. We have an extension website where you can find our FSMA website where we have all this stuff categorized, articles, flow charts, videos, the whole bit, and then our Department of Food Science list on their page listing of our workshops and short courses and such. So that's Penn State.
Disclaimer, I didn't make this slide, did I? Okay, there's 4 members on our team. In New Jersey, it's divided between on-farm food safety, which is what we do, and there's another group that deals with post-harvest, or I should say food manufacturing, Food Innovation Center. And we do just the on-farm work. We started in 1998, and some of you may not have been born or were walking around in diapers when I say that. And it really became an issue because one of our growers, or several of our growers, got a letter from a major supermarket in March saying, "We will not buy leafy greens from you this year unless you have a food safety plan in place." Well, no one knew what they were talking about. They didn't know what they were talking about, and that's how this whole thing got started. So luckily that supermarket got beat over the head by other supermarkets saying, "You don't know what you're talking about either, so let's back off of this." So anyway, we've trained a lot of people over the last umpteen years. She put on the slide here, 3,000. Meredith, you should raise your hand back there. She's the guilty party, by the way. We started out doing short presentations for growers, and we're talking about 15, 20-minute presentations. Then going on to day-long meetings, and this is before PSA or any other trainings. Now we do PSA training 2 or 3 times a year. We also do third-party audit training using the harmonized audit. Not paid for by CAP, so FDA doesn't need to worry about us using their funds for that purpose. And those are 2 or 3 times a year. During COVID, they were remote. Now in person, the third-party audit ones are going to stay remote because that seems to be what our growers want. We have a website. We put a lot of stuff out on what we call Plant and Pest Advisory. It's a newsletter that goes out at least weekly, and we put articles in there. As I said, we have a website. We have posters that we've developed, and they're 3x4 size posters that growers can take home. And some of it's post-harvest handling. The one that really, right now, probably have the biggest demand is for ADA, American for Disability Act. We had a problem because of all the roadside stands, people bringing their pets, which were not service animals. And growers were getting a lot of problems. So Meredith developed a poster, and they put it up at their stand, which helps them educate, shall we say, the audience that they should not be bringing their pets. And that's really gone over well. Plans for the future, since I'm retiring, we do have my position approved for filling, which is one of my goals before I left. In reality, what we have is my position is about half-time food safety. Meredith is about half-time food safety. So we have one FTE equivalent. Jen Matthews that you see in there. Jen is our administrator, so we wouldn't have a program without Jen. She, as you may know, universities aren't the easiest people to deal with, especially in administration and accounting. And Jen knows all the bells and whistles and how to get around and find the loopholes. So that's basically what our program will continue to be. We may have a slight expansion, but not much because we don't have the funding. But really, our philosophy for the whole program is we want to keep food safe and help growers do that. However, growers need to make a profit. And you can put all kinds of regulations on, and if growers have to comply with that, plus everything else that's thrown at them, they're going to go out of business. So our goal is to keep growers profitable. That's it. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Indu Upadhyay. I'm the Food Safety Extension Specialist from University of Connecticut. happy that you all are here in Connecticut. I am primarily responsible for produce grower training, and also I help out with preventive controls. I don't actually offer it. Along with Diane Hirsch, who many of you might remember. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Thank you. Short people. Okay. So Diane Hirsch, I'm sure you all, many of you know her. She's a retired emeritus faculty at University of Connecticut. She's probably praying for the day that I'll stop asking her for help, but I keep telling her that's not going to happen in the near future. We also have Anna. Anna is here. She's my graduate student. She's new, and I'm just glad that I don't have to be the one-woman person in Connecticut anymore for food safety. She's working on a USDA multi-state hatch project with me. And, you know, it took a while for her to get here from Brazil because of visa issues and everything, so the project was slightly delayed, but hopefully we'll have something next year at NECAVS to present, so that's, you know, fingers crossed. So the research portion, I wasn't sure how much to put in here because the University of Connecticut actively does food safety research in the Department of Animal Science. There are many faculty who are working on various projects, both produce and poultry safety. I have only highlighted the research that I'm directly involved with or I'm a lead PI on. Some of my projects include developing the applications for effective delivery of antimicrobials in produce farms to improve food safety. The project that Anna is working on is mitigating the food safety risks associated with fresh produce production through evidence-based research and farmer training, as a part of which we'll be going to the farms and collecting some water, which the farmers are going to love, giving us some samples, maybe not. But we are planning to do that, and hopefully we will analyze it and have good statistics for the Connecticut region itself. For many years previously, I have been investigating the effect of plant molecules and probiotics on fresh produce, either as a wash or coating treatment, to see their antimicrobial efficacy. I've been working with natural antimicrobials for a while, so I try to do some applied research and continue that at UConn. With regards to teaching, like I mentioned, I do the PSA Alliance Grower Training course. I also guest lecture the small fruit production, where we talk about FSMA and the compliance for FSMA. I also do meat and poultry HACCP training and co-teach undergrad courses for principles of poultry science. Again, I was not sure how much to put in here, so I've put the things that I thought were applicable. An important fact about the UConn Extension is that we work very closely with for many years, we've been working closely with the Meshantecut Pequot tribe, which is part of the working with the federally recognized tribes extension program. Some of you might have heard about it. They have developed their own Department of Agriculture, and more recently, the food safety. They have approached me for food safety programming for their Department of Agriculture so that they can have their own certification and also be compliant with the FDA requirements. So I'm very excited to work with them on that. That's one of the important facts with Connecticut. Lastly, if you guys have time or, on your way back home, please stop by UConn Dairy Bar. Shout out to Husky Dairy Bar and enjoy some ice cream. It's been rated as one of the top ice cream places in Connecticut and New England for a while. So, if you do have some time, please do stop by at UConn Dairy Bar. With that, I think that's about it. Thank you, Elizabeth and Chris, again, for hosting this at Hartford, and thank you all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gordon Johnson. I'm the Extension Fruit and Vegetable Specialist for the University of Delaware and lead our produce food safety team. We have with us here Dr. Callie Neal, who we're so fortunate to have such an accomplished faculty member that helps us with our produce food safety, and Jennifer Jones, our produce food safety associate. So just raise your hands. And then shout out to our DDA compadres, Andrea, Amanda, and Justin in the back. And we couldn't do our work without them. They provide our funding and support for what we do. And so I do want to mention they said 2 minutes, so I wanted to put up a really unique project we've been working with the University of Maryland. And a shout out to Angelo Forelli, who used to come to these meetings. He's now in industry, but we did a really neat project together with the University of Maryland, where we retrofitted watermelon harvest buses. Yes, we harvested the buses. And what they had on those buses was old carpet. Think that's easy to clean and sanitize? All right, so we thought we could do better. And so thanks to Jen, we came up with this idea of putting vinyl liners and these rubber mats on the floors of buses. We did the microbial safety work, and it really improves the food safety. And not only that, we were able to save melons, so it actually pays for itself just by saving cracks in melons. So that's been a neat project. And to top it off, the Department of Agriculture is giving funding to do a cost share program for that. So kind of a neat project. Thank you all.
Hello, everyone. First of all, the sparseness of the slides is not a reflection of the sparseness of our program. It's just that Elizabeth said if I didn't send her in the next 10 minutes, we would not have slides to talk on top of it. So, but meet the team. So me, Rob, and Dr. Jen Perry are the ones that are here. We are the main part of the team in the sense that I do the educational part. Jen do most of the research. Not here today, that is joining our group is Dr. Aja Dankwa, a postdoc, and we have one student working in some of the research projects and two that will start soon. Missing from these slides, you guys might notice we don't have Jason Bolton anymore. He used to be the PC person. Now I'm the produce and the PC person. In the state of Maine, Jason is now our associate dean of extension. So I guess he doesn't come to these pesky meetings anymore. He has his extension dean meetings to go to. But we are hiring a seafood person. So if you guys know about a seafood person, seafood HACCP position is actually open right now. But that's the team. Not here, also missing, should have there. We have Dave Handley. He helps teach a couple modules from the class. And then we have a very good partnership with Department of Ag. Lindsay, he is here. You guys heard from her yesterday, but these are mostly the university folks. And then guess what? Maine is the only state in the U.S. with wild blueberries. So, well, other than Canada, but we don't talk about them. But in the U.S., at least, we are the only ones. The low bush, not the high bush ones, the good ones. Hydroponics is growing in the state. We have a partnership with a couple of them that we have been doing a lot of research. We are doing a lot of the water safety in hydroponics because we know it's a subject of interest to FDA right now. And also Maine boasts the region's largest and most diverse microalgae industry. So, and if anyone worked with the algae folks, seaweed, they are neither produce, and depending on how much they do, neither PC. Is a very interesting place to be. So it's going to be an industry that needs a lot of support. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I am Lisa McCaig from UMass Extension, the University of Massachusetts. I work on the produce safety side of things. I'm a vegetable extension educator, so I work with the vegetable team, mostly on our IPM program and other production issues, but I also do food safety as a big part of my job. It's kind of just me on the produce safety side, although my colleague Genevieve Higgins, who is not here today, is trained as a trainer in the produce safety curriculum, and she started helping out with trainings and developing some of our resources, like our Food Safety for Farmers website. But I did quickly look to see how many people we've trained, since so many people were talking about that, and mostly it was the Mike Botello and Lisa McCaig show for a while. It was just the two of us, and I think we've just the last few, we've gotten some additional trainers in, but we've done over 500, or trained over 500 people in Massachusetts. That is us. And then on the preventive control side, Amanda Kinchla is in this room somewhere, I'm sure. There she is. She is an extension associate professor in food science. and works on the preventive controls side, doing trainings and other things with food processors. I took a note so I wouldn't screw up what her current projects are. But basically, they're on the slide as well. So there was some poster session, or in the poster session, her students who are also here, mostly in that back table, I think, been helping out at this conference and with registration, but also had several posters in the poster session. So hopefully, you've met some of them as well. And they, together as a team, are working on developing a hybrid that's partly online and partly in person course for small processors. Is that the same course that CISO was talking about? You're working with, that the Food Processing Center was working on? Oh, so many courses. So for small presses, and then also a project with New Mexico State University on which sounds fun, a bilingual, I think that's English and Spanish, food safety training game, an interactive game for training on GMPs. Myself, I'm also working on a project to drive around Massachusetts and take water samples and work with growers to educate them on assessing the risks related to their mostly surface water. We last year started the project. It's a project with MDAR. Took over 100 samples and tested them for E. coli and worked with growers to try and get them to understand, make some presumptions about their risks based on their conditions, and then kind of test those assumptions with the water test that we did and help them better understand their practices and mitigate where we thought there might be risks and kind of prepare them for the regulations if they, when they are released. What else? That's about it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Shauna Henley, and I'm with the University of Maryland Extension. I'm a family and consumer science agent that gets to help teach preventive controls and produce safety. We got to meet Andrea yesterday, and I'm representing the University of Maryland College Park, Extension, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and the Department of Ag. So you can see behind me some of the key things each group is working on, and then we're also trying to organize some of the resources so people that might be from ag or processing see that there's a whole farm to fork thing with food safety and just not one area. So if we are missing something, email me and we can get your resources up on our website. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Wendy Johnnychuk, and I'm a relatively new hire at the University of New Hampshire Extension. I have a joint appointment with the Faculty of College of Life Science and Agriculture and with the Cooperative Extension. I've joined our 3-person food safety team, very exciting. That's 1/3 of the team. We have another individual in the room that's on the team, Mary Saucier-Choate. Mary, do you mind just standing up? Or waving, however you want. There you go. Thank you, Mary. I'll speak to what Mary does in just a moment. We have a 3-person food safety team, but we also work very closely with the rest of our food and agriculture production team. We also work very closely with our Department of Ag. We've got Vicki here and Deb. Thank you. And also, I also want to recognize, I know there aren't that many growers in the room, but we also have another grower from Andre from New Hampshire. Work closely, our food and ag team does with all of our different entities in the state. So in terms of what we do in food safety, so I primarily work with produce and small-scale food processors, and I also teach with the university. We have Mary Choate, who's working on a very exciting program, which is in collaboration with the University of Maine, which is Jumpstart to Food Safety with new farmers entering into the business. She also works on mushroom food safety, and she co-teaches a course for retail food sector, primarily with food pantries and also with schools. So it's called SAFE. And then we have another member of our team that's not here today, Ann Hamilton, and she primarily works she also does some small value-added processing, but she also works with the retail food sector. So our guess what in New Hampshire is We're a relatively small state. I know there are other states of similar size in terms of the food and agriculture infrastructure. And so because of that, and yet we have a lot of diverse groups that we're trying to work with and serve. And because of that, we need folks in this room as collaborators, and we also need folks within the state. So I'd say that's our big guess what, a wide variety of audience, and yet which really means that we do need to collaborate in order to meet all those different needs. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicole Richard with the University of Rhode Island. My partner in crime is Sage Lanterman. We don't have any real photos of ourselves, so we put the one that we have up here up. Oh, here we go. So I primarily do preventive controls for human food, and Sagel's our produce safety specialist. She's been teaching the produce safety in conjunction with our Rhode Island DEM, and I do a lot of preventive controls work with our regulatory partners. So we're a small state and a small team, and we really rely on partnerships for our success. And we partner with a lot of people in this room as well. So that's us in a nutshell. Yep, I think that was it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hans Estrin, University of Vermont Produce Team. Okay, so first, this will be short. Raise your hand if you made a New Year's resolution. I won't call on you, I promise. Is that it? Oh, all right. Well, keep your hand raised if that resolution came out of some point of pain, something in the last year that was frustrating or painful. Yeah, pretty much everyone. So that's, how do we make change? We need energy. Okay, the team. I'll get back to that point. We have, our produce team is bigger. At the University of Vermont, we have a probably 6-7 person team, but produce safety. Andy Chamberlain is our rock star. Vern Grubinger pulled me into this 10 years ago, or no, 13 years ago, I think it was. Chris Callahan and myself, and we have key collaborators. So primarily Agency of Ag is here as well. And NECAFS is part of UVM and part of our team. So Agency of Ag, Food and Markets, and NECAFS, and Chris and Andy, just stand up for a second so we can all see who are, and our partners, Agency of Ag, Christina's here, and Tucker. We work primarily with them, so thank you all. And we also, probably key, the vegetable and berry growers, or the Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers Association, VVBGA, about 650 growers, key collaborators. So what we know is that these growers are full. Their lives are filled up. And to change anything requires energy. And at this point of pain, I come back to, there's no way that these growers are going to make positive improvements unless we somehow can connect with them, if we're going to be part of it. So we focus on meeting them where they are. What's been going on? What's your point of pain? What is happening in your life that you need to change? That's what we focus on. Produce safety comes into it. It's about running a good farm. And we work one-on-one, small groups, or small peer groups. We work with them to make these changes. They are the key motivating force, and it's our job to turn those examples, those key lessons learned, those highly impactful positive changes into some kind of production, some kind of broadcast for everyone. And Andy is key in that, Chris is key in that, and that's how we're trying to work. It's an iterative process. So thank you very much, everyone. Excited to be part of it.
Okay, so it's 9 o'clock on the dot, and it's time for a break. And then the preventive controls group will meet in 2122. And our food is still out there, so if you want a Danish, get it now, because they're going to take it. So I just want to grab it when you go by. Take a 10-minute break, and then produce safety will be in this room. We'll start at 9:10, and preventive controls around the corner at 9:10. Okay, thank you.